It looks so short.
No,
Better.
Buff out my eyebrows enough. All right, let's go.
It's all right. It's all right. We're here.
Suddenly you're like, well, those are darker than normal.
I know. Guys, I have a story for you today.
I want to hear about it.
No names in case you know the firm that does this. Don't say who.
Okay.
I have a friend. We'll call them Jack. Jack has been interviewing at a firm that we'll call Tree Capital. Tree Capital, they're at like the final stage of the process. They've interviewed a few times. Then Tree Capital asks them to fill out a questionnaire. And the questionnaire asks about their employment history, reasonable, their mother's employment history and where they live, and their hobbies, and their father's employment history. And then when Jack asks, what's this about? Jack is told, oh, we have just a certain profile we're looking for.
Oh, no.
Investment team hire. And so Jack completes the task, and then Jack is told they don't meet the profile of what they're looking for. Jack comes from a very normal, middle class background. And so have you ever heard, I've never heard of this being as blatantly a part of someone's hiring process in our industry, but someone's doing it and getting away with it, I guess.
Oh my God. What?
Wild.
So I'm not surprised, right? Because I'm past being surprised about anybody's shenanigans. But I've been asked by an investor what my parents did.
What?
I've also been asked if I was having more children. I also asked how I was going to be after getting divorced. Was I going to be able to handle children and work? So people are way off base, but this is, if you went based on my parents, not Brian's parents is bomb.com. But if you went based on I wouldn't get the job anywhere. I wouldn't get a while.
That's crazy.
Why does it matter what your father in 1957 decided he was going to do?
Or what somebody decided he could or couldn't do.
Correct. Because it was 1957.
Right. Or, those was from immigrant families. That's a ridiculous thing to even ask for anyone. You know what I mean? Who has any.
And they would put it down on paper where they could, oh my God.
That was insane. And Jack, called me immediately after leaving the interview and was like, have you ever heard of this before? And it's a firm we know. And I was like, I had no idea they did that. And that I've never heard of that. That was insane to me. It was like taking country club hiring to the next level.
I feel like that whoever Tree Capital is needs to be counseled. This feels like a counseling moment. And we've done it.
Yeah.
Because this feels,
icky.
East Coast or West Coast?
I don't think I can say that.
That's fine.
I'm saying West Coast.
Okay, watch it, Brackeen.
I don't know who it is. I'm just saying. Sounds very West Coast.
They're within our thesis.
That is yucky. That is yucky. That's a lot of people aren't gonna. What's the profile?
That's what I want to know. What is the profile?
I come from a working class blue collar family. Does that mean
the profile is we're trying to get everybody to be the same.
I just don't know in any world, how is it that your parents have any influence on your ability to perform in your workplace?
I've never seen that psychology at all. I don't understand what that, because again, to your point, people's decisions are based on the reality that they live in at the time. Mm-hmm. There's so many amazing CEOs and things where their parents were teachers and they were there. I know so many people that are high performers whose parents were teachers. It's an endless number of people.
Yeah.
Oh,
maybe
terrible.
It's gross, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty gnarly, but what's not gnarly are some of the companies that we're going to be able to see tonight. So, Marlon, if you don't mind,
here we go.
Get started.
We're a company and a venture capital firm that invests in companies run by women and minorities, particularly when they're away from the coast. Very, very focused on the Midwest. You are watching live the first pitch competition on Twitch, where you, the viewer, have an opportunity to vote for companies that you like best.
So every episode, we have 3 judges, plus you, the audience. You also get to judge each pitch. After each presentation, you'll see a cute little box pop up with a Twitter link for you to vote for if you would invest in the company yourselves.
During round 1, we watched as the startups presented their pitch deck in 5 minutes or less. Then the judges began their Q&A. After we selected viewer-submitted questions for the founders to answer, in the end, the audience and judges had the opportunity to vote in the poll below for the company they like best.
Candice, do you mind if we start?
Oh, sure. Sorry.
And welcome back, everybody. This is season 6, episode 2 of Twitch Pitch, your very favorite pitch competition show, live here on Twitch, brought to you by the team at Lightship. So for those of you who are new, hello, hey, here's what goes down. Every season, we see 12 companies compete for a grand prize of $25,000 and some cool non-cash prizes as well. Every episode, we'll see 2, sometimes 3 companies air a 5-minute pitch video where you get to learn more about the company. And then we bring that team on live for a question and answer portion with us, the judges, as well as you, the audience. So as you're watching the episode, if you have questions or comments for the company that you're watching present, throw them in your comment box below and we'll make sure that we get those answered for you. And so that goes for everyone. So whether you're watching on Twitch or Facebook or LinkedIn Live or wherever, use your comment box below and we will get all of your questions answered. We also have a pretty cool voting component to the show. So when the time comes, you'll see on the bottom of your screen how you could vote for the company that you would want to invest in if you could. I'll read out to you the number, give you all the details, and you can use the texting line to vote for that company tonight. We're really excited to be here. We couldn't do the show without some of our fantastic sponsors. We're brought to you by JPMorgan Chase. They're one of the oldest financial institutions in the United States that serves corporations in over 100 countries. We're also here thanks to UPS. They're one of the largest and most trusted global shipping and logistics companies worldwide, and the Ohio Third Frontier. OTF works with innovative startup companies across the state, making Ohio the destination for tech entrepreneurs. We're really excited. Thank you all to our sponsors every season for helping us do this. We're also excited to have our fantastic panel of judges here. Our first judge is Miss Candice Brackeen. Candice is the founder and executive director of the Lightship Foundation, which educates, empowers, and accelerates companies in the Midwest, the South, and beyond, led by underrepresented founders. And we have Brian Brackeen over here. Brian is our expert in all things AI and education and our bootcamp programming. They both also are GPs of our fund, Lightship Capital. I'm Lexi. I'm also on the Lightship Capital team, and I am excited to meet our companies today. So we were talking a little bit behind the scenes about some pretty awful things related to family and history, but let's meet a cool company that's doing something to help improve the world of family and children. Let's meet Maise.
Maise is a toy on a mission to make a toy. Play Maise is a toy on a mission to create quality play on the go with less mess at home for parents. Children's toys include an overwhelming number of small pieces, yet they fail to provide a solution for organization and storage in between play. This leads to lost pieces, perpetual messes, and baskets filled with different parts from different toys, making it difficult to find what you need to make a toy playable again. Because of this massive design oversight, toys go unused after their first play, and far too much energy and time is spent at home on toy organization and cleanup. As a parent, we all know that young children do not sit still. It is their job to explore and learn the world around them. So, why are so many of their toys made to be stationary? Play Maise has taken the frustrations that parents have with a classic childhood favorite toy, the leading dollhouses on the market, and created a brand new category of open-ended play for all children while solving their shared frustrations. Our patent-pending cases are inspired by vintage tin lunchboxes and fold out on both sides to reveal interchangeable magnetic rooms with fixed wooden furniture, which means no loose pieces, no mess. Play Maise is easy to pick up and go with a multi-use case of its own. From backyard adventures and long car rides to living room play dates and solo self-discovery, Play Maise encourages endless hours of imaginative play. When playtime is over, simply close up your case, hang it on a hook, stack them in a pile, or put them on a shelf. The small footprint of our cases also makes Play Maise an ideal toy for tiny spaces. In 2020, there were $3.6 billion in toy doll sales in the United States alone. Play Maise's products are created for children between the ages of 3 and 8 years old, which is a total addressable market of nearly 35 million customers in the United States. Immediately upon having my first idea for Play Maise, I contacted a design firm and received a quote that included a 16-week time frame for creating drawings of the toy that I had dreamed up. I knew how important it would be to be the first to market with this idea, so I took matters into my own hands. I spent the entirety of my $25,000 personal savings and was able to accomplish all legal, trademark, patent filings, branding, prototype creation, product development, and crowdfunding launch within 2 months. With next to no advertising spend budget, we organically raised nearly $30,000 in pre-orders during our 30-day campaign. We launched Play Maise with an initial product line of 3 cases. The home case features a kitchen and living room, while the cozy case includes a bedroom and bathroom. Our wild case is a world of adventure with both camping and fishing rooms. We also have a set of 4 dolls along with magnetic accessories that are available as add-ons. Our vision for year 2 would be to expand our line of classic cases with new themes. Examples of future cases would be the space case featuring a rocket launch center and moon landing, or a school case that includes a classroom and playground. These cases are perfect for collecting so that children can create entire worlds both in and out of their cases. In year 3, we plan to secure licensing partnerships with large brands to create limited edition cases based on children's favorite movies and shows. Play Maise was created by a single adoptive mom with a heart for youth experiencing foster care. We plan to donate cases to children at the time of placement into the foster care system so that they can carry it with them through the difficult unknowns of their journey. At Play Maise, we believe that toys should bring joy to a home, not mess. We believe in the power of play, the kind that sparks creativity, triggers wonder, and invites curiosity. And we believe in recognizing, protecting, and nurturing the precious, significant space that is a child's world of play. Discover more with Play Maise.
Thank you, guys.
Hi.
Hi, Kayla. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I had to add her little voice in at the end because it gets me. I figured it might get you guys too.
That took Candice over the top right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Everyone knows like I'm the biggest crier, so like I'm gonna let somebody else go first.
All right, Brian.
Excellent job.
Thank you
Excellent
so much.
pitch. I'll talk a little bit about the crying. That's actually kind of what you want, right? Out of that kind of emotional reaction and that connection that people have to the product. So tell me a little more about that. Like, are you seeing that with your early customers, how much they love it, writing you letters? Tell me about that reaction.
Yeah, so I'm hearing every single day from foster parents, from therapists who deal with children who've experienced trauma, from parents who are just tired of picking up mess. This idea really formed out of, I'm a single adoptive mom, and when COVID hit, I had no childcare. I was a wedding photographer. I lost all of my weddings, and it was just me and my 2.5-year-old at home, one-on-one for 1 year. And I found myself starting every day with all of the patience in the world. And as the day went on, I would trip over the same toys, pick up the same messes, and I would still end the day with a messy house. And with everything that parents have on their plates today, especially mothers, toys should not be the thing that stresses us out and keeps us from fulfilling other parts of our life.
Love it. Love it. As an adopted person myself, it's really impactful.
Oh.
I have a question about the outcomes, right? So how much cleaner are these houses? How much of an impact are you having on mom's life?
So we just launched our campaign. I had the initial idea for Play Maise Christmas night last year, put my daughter to bed, and I don't even know how it came to me. It just came to me, and I knew immediately I needed to do it. And so I hopped on it. I've been working nonstop since. My Kickstarter campaign ended in early April, and we're about to receive our first pre-production samples, and then we will launch production.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent. So before we get to Candice, folks, as you're watching, if you have any questions for Kayla or comments about the company, throw them in the comment box below and I'll get them answered for you in a minute. Candice, feel free to ask away.
All right, Kayla, you are, and I know this is all parents, but as a mother, we know how to stretch $1, and you've like stretched it. Like
when a lot of people hear that I spent $25,000, I'm like, how did you spend 25? I'm like, that's as cheap as I could have possibly done.
That is cheap. I think that is super cheap. It's like you got some coupons in there, you spread them out, and you figured out how to double coupon.
I appreciate that.
to make that happen. So I think that's absolutely amazing. So the concept is more around free play right now, and allowing a child to kind of figure out everything. But you talked a little bit about characters coming over time. Do you plan on doing any of your own character development?
Yeah, so we actually do have 4 dolls already. And we are the first, I just figured out the solution to it, but the first ones to figure out how to have a cloth doll that stands. So a lot of companies right now are using wooden dolls. And after going back and forth and getting sample after sample, I realized I could put a button on the bottom of the cloth doll and it stands perfectly. So we have a set of 4 dolls, 2 boys, 2 girls. 2 of the characters are white, 2 of them are brown. So when you buy a set, you don't pick, you get the full set of 4. So it's really important to me that every family has inclusivity in the set of dolls that they receive.
You are a special human. You are absolutely a special human. All right. So Lexi, I'm gonna let you go next and then I'll ask another question.
So Kayla, tell me a little bit about when you think about long-term, the entire universe. You mentioned like potential partnerships with other media kits. We see a lot of kind of world building with movies, TV, books in the toy world. What do you think that'll look like for you?
My vision for Play Maise is huge. I really do see Play Maise being the toy that every kid has, the same way that in the 80s everyone had Polly Pocket. This is the way better version that just makes sense. I plan to grow it. I didn't include this in the video, but I have so many ideas, even mission-based cases such as Save the Whales or the Humane Society that help bring important causes into children's play, other cultures, just to bring awareness in a really simple way that can make the world a better place. I really feel like these are the perfect cases for that.
Excellent. Candice?
Now, are there any audience questions or am I?
No, there's audience love and how clean and tight the pitch was.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have a comment, just that sometimes when we give founders feedback, we say, like, you've got to stretch $1. You've got to find a way to make it work with what you have, right? You're like the person that we're talking about, right? It is possible. It's not easy, as you can attest, right? No. But here you are. And that talk point gives investors a comfort that their dollar is going to be well spent and well protected as well.
I appreciate that so much.
Absolutely. Thank you again for joining us. So folks, if you would like to vote for Play Maise tonight, I don't remember what the number is. So Marlon's going to pull it up for me. So if you would like to vote for Play Maise, text the number 3 to 203-408-6432. Once again, if you would vote for Play Maise to win this season, text the number 3 to 203-408-6432. Thank you so much, Kayla.
Thank you, guys.
Wow. Did you hear me? I said that too loud.
Are you wowing before we come back? Like you're wowing through the transition.
Sorry, I should have muted myself.
That was great. That was great. So Candice, in addition to your wow, what other comments do you have?
Like I've stepped on a lot of toys. And I would say early on in my parent life, I was really into like, can I get all of these things organized in these individual cubbies, and this set of boxes is going to go here and this is going to go there, and we also are going to have a little thing of toys in the car, and there's constantly like this struggle. And I know that you can't convert everything, right? But for people who live in small spaces, people who are taking their kids back and forth to school, entertainment for your child back and forth to school in the car shouldn't be an iPad. And so we've got to get kids back into a state of play. And so I see this as an option. I love the fact that she's building from the beginning inclusivity of genders and race. That's a big deal. We don't see that right now. I think that it's what's lacking in the toy aisle. Even one of my favorite toy companies, Lego, they have Lego Friends and they have regular Lego. And sometimes you can find a girl in a regular Lego set. She's like that one, but like it's difficult to find. And so I really love what she's doing. And, I don't fancy myself as a toy investor. But I guess we've invested in a toy company, right? And so now I'm like, well, there's something about this. It's like Polly Pockets.
Like Polly Pocket.
Is it Polly Pocket?
Oh yeah, I think it's singular, but who cares? Bad branding that we don't actually know the difference.
Got it.
Brian, your thoughts?
I just like it. I think we don't give enough credit in the universe to real creators, like real dreamers, real first-time folks. And I can't remember seeing a toy on that design, on that lunch pail design, magnetic. I just feel like that's kind of a truly original thing, at least in my experience. And so
I see it kind of at the end. So do you know the section of everybody's favorite Target? They have the board game section, and then there's a toy section that kind of goes up against it. And sometimes in certain stores, one of the end caps will have travel games.
Yep.
So I see this kind of floating between those two sections.
Yeah, I like that.
It could be in lots of different places, but man, she had a lot that came out of her head in that little tiny pitch.
And she made it happen.
She made it happen.
From here to execution.
That's kind of
on a small amount of money.
And I see a ton of potential. I mean, she could run this thing till the wheels fall off, but there's a ton of potential acquisition targets.
She's in Cleveland.
Oh, cool.
And I'm going to leave it at that. So since Maise's crushing it in the toy world, let's meet another company that's also thinking really deeply about the future of children. Let's meet the team from Live Your Song.
Has a problem. Due to COVID-19, her son John is learning at home. He constantly is on the computer in class, on YouTube, watching videos or swiping through TikTok. John's grades are suffering. He's also isolated. He can't focus. He's depressed, and he's falling behind. Instead of spending quality time with John after a long day of work, Nicole surfs the internet for educational tools that keep him engaged, prepare him for the future, boost his esteem, and strengthen academics. She's having a hard time finding material that caters to John's learning needs and offers diverse content. The truth is, there are not any learning platforms that deliver customized virtual learning, teach academics, and improve social emotional learning. Hello, my name is Lana Harden, and I have the answer to Nicole's problem. My company is Live Your Song. We've been delivering exceptional learning experiences in person and online for more than 3 years. Our products and services teach literacy, engage children, prepare them for the future, and promote mental wellness. What if technology, music, and affirmation could teach literacy and academics? Both are proven to contribute to improved health. We're creating a voice-based AI learning tool to combine these strategies with technology to build social emotional learning skills. And guess what? Due to COVID-19, the EdTech market has increased to $227 billion. Right now, we're focused regionally at $129 million, but we look to expand to 89.1 billion. And experts predict it will increase 15.3% by 2027. We're perfectly positioned to grow and scale with these trends. We've gained a lot of traction, reaching over 9 states, 3 continents, 1,400 users. We have an annual run rate of $75,000. We've created 7 products. We've developed 14, almost 15 program partnerships. And we've received contracts with Coppell ISD, Independent Schools District, and we've also been to several different schools around the country. And when our voice app is completed, we'll gain even more traction. So based on our market research, our product has never been done. What makes us the best is that we're the only learning platform using voice. Teachers and parents love the product because it helps students who learn differently and helps reach children with special needs, minority students, English language learners, and more. I'm Lana Harden. I am founder of Live Your Song. I'm a singer and songwriter with 30 plus years in the entertainment industry and marketing. Our team also includes Dr. Royan Hendricks and Tia Cole, 2 educational consultants, leading in special education and curriculum design. AJ Orr is our technical consultant, and our director of business development and sponsorship is Dr. Christina Wade. Our multi-channel marketing approach allows us to reach parents, guardians, and educational institutions. Our sales model is direct and web sales. There are currently 56 million students enrolled in U.S. elementary and secondary schools. We charge an annual licensing fee to educational institutions or a monthly subscription to parents. We project a 0.25 to 5% sales growth rate from launch in year 1 to scale at year 3. And we're always looking for insight to help us grow, gain more customers, and expand our reach. And I'll take questions. Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
I love that she's in the kind of like, looks like you're in your school office, ready to go. That's exactly what this looks like.
Yeah, this is my day-to-day grind right here.
Lex, sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're good. I was just going to remind everyone who's watching, if you have any questions or comments for Lana, throw them in your comment box and we'll make sure to get them answered. So Candice, feel free to start us off.
Okay, great. So Lana, tell me where you are in the development process of the technology.
We started our beta version last year. Right now, we're actually getting ready to launch. We've actually received a commitment from a Durham, North Carolina elementary school to test our products. We also applied for the Department of Education cyber grant this year. One of the big things that's happened for us this year, well, there's a few big things, but one is we had the opportunity to talk to Adam Shire, the founder of Siri, the founder and creator of Siri, which was huge for us, as well as Viv Labs. He's done a bunch. And we also had the opportunity to talk to Amazon Alexa, the head of the Amazon Alexa Fund, which invited us to their minority business program, which was amazing, pilot program. We also are in the talks. We're partnering with an organization that serves over 1,000 foster care children in the Detroit area. And we also are getting ready to partner with one of the largest African-American nonprofits in the state. So we feel like we are doing really well this year, and we're on track to do even more, which will help us with our technology. You asked about the development. So that's where we are. We have our beta, but what we're also trying to do is gain customers so that we can get the data, which will obviously give us a stronger case when we present to our investors.
So how is testing going with the beta?
Well, testing, it's an interesting type of creation because we're basically productizing our service. So this is a service we've already been offering, so we know that it works. So what's happening is that we're just turning it into a technology so that we can actually reach more children. And it is a language development, program. So it definitely speaks to different people. So right now, the biggest thing is trying to infuse the AI in a way that is going to be beneficial. So we haven't completely finished our beta just because we actually interviewed 50 parents and educators in about 11 different categories. And we definitely want to make sure we integrate them all in. So
that makes sense. All right, who's next?
I think our resident AI nerd is up next.
I have a lot of AI questions, but I kind of start with a growth question. So I know the folks at Nearpod, friends, and they've grown and now exited a business now recently, and that business was growing some quarters, 10% or more, right, each quarter. So, and you talked about kind of your high end growth target being less than that. So how do you get yourself to that 10, 20, even greater percent growth year over year?
Well, to be quite honest, I've bootstrapped for 3 years myself. So I think part of it is just being able to put myself in my business 100%, which is why I'm so excited about the Amazon program, because it allows me to focus and grow my revenue so that I can focus on my product streams. So I definitely think that is a very low estimate, but because I'm a solo founder and I've been learning procurements for 2 years, I realize that it's a huge task. And so I've been building also a team and my capacity so that I can also bring others on board. So I'm just being conservative right now until we are, we have the infrastructure to support it.
Perfect.
That was such a good answer.
Yes. And it makes total sense. And I guess this is more of a Lexi kind of point. You can have projections on both sides, conservative or non-conservative, both work, but have a good answer for either scenario. This is why it's aggressive. This is why it's conservative. And then as long as it makes sense, it's fine. Right? Again, that's like my inner Lexi talking, but I feel like that's what she would say.
That's exactly what I would say.
Excellent. On the AI side, and we can either talk here or also talk offline because we're happy to, help you a little bit out there. But what are you looking for? Training data is the name of the game, right? Which is to your earlier point. What would be an ideal situation what do you need to train the system more?
Well, like I said, we were in our beta version. We got into development, and we don't want to be limited to just Alexa or Google as an assistant. That's not what we have in mind. We have something that really allows children to engage and create. I actually talked to a music licensing company, so we want to integrate innovation, and we also want to expose children who don't have access to emerging technologies to that. So one of the things that we've been doing recently is talking to a company in Ireland who works with, I don't know if you've heard of Echoborg. It's kind of cool if you look it up, the AI, they do an AI show, but they also do the MetaHumans as well. So I think that starting with our beta is great, but we just need to make sure that the design is where we want it to be, which is why those conversations with Adam Shire were so critical, because he is one of the leading, he's done it twice and sold companies. And so he was able to walk us through exactly from listening to our technology, what we needed, and even offered to sync us up with some people that could help us. So we feel very great. It's just a matter of, again, executing everything that we've done.
Excellent. Brian, got another question?
Oh, thank you. That's all I was going to say.
Okay. So Alana, I'm curious, tell me a little bit more about the benefits for your program and technology for the children with special needs community.
Okay, so I always share this story if I can share it with you, because I'm very high energy when I'm engaging with the children. So I'll tell you that one particular time I went into a community center and I always ask the kids, are you excited about your future? And one of the little boys, he was 5, he said no. He said he hated his future. And he said his future was trying to kill him. And so I said, no, your future's not trying to kill you. It wants to it loves you and wants you to talk to it every day. And so as the conversation went on, I asked the children, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he said he wanted to fight cancer. And he wanted to be a Power Ranger. And so the other children were laughing at him. Oh, no, you can't be a Power Ranger. I said, yes, you can, because I wanted to be a Power Ranger too. And he said, well, you could be the blue one and I'll be and we had this back and forth, right? And so by the end, I could tell he wanted to hug me, but I just kept going. At the end of the class, he ran and gave me the biggest hug. I have to admit, I bawled like a baby, went to the car. But when I came back the next session, he named 5 things he wanted to be. And so I think the benefit, one of it is that it opens up children's future. For those children who don't have a mentor and don't know what positive self-talk is like, it allows them to have a voice. It allows children of trauma who can't actually talk about what they've been through to actually talk and communicate. And I just think it does so much more because, you know, my product is a branded product and we talk about voice snatchers and we do it from an empowering place. So we don't have to talk about, you know, racism and classism from a negative space, but about empowering yourself to be the voice of your city and to collaborate with others. So I just think and the literacy benefit obviously is huge, right? But unlocking those voices and the talent in the future, I think means more to us. You know, I have like 100 thank you cards just because children need that, and especially in this day, in this environment. So I think there's a multitude of benefits.
Excellent, excellent. Last call for any questions in the comment section. I see some more love in the comments, but I don't think I see any questions. Ryan or Candice, any last thoughts? Otherwise, thank you so much, Lana. We'll see you in a minute.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Just kidding. We're not going to talk about our thoughts on the company yet because we haven't told the people how to vote. JK. I was making sure everyone was still awake. So,
right.
If you would like to vote for Live Your Song, now is your chance. You can dial 4 to 203-408-6432. Once again, to vote for Live Your Song, text the number 4 to 203-408-6432. Now we're back on track. Candice, tell me what you thought about the company.
I think she's fantastic. Lana is fantastic, and I'm certain that her team members are as well. As you know, ed tech is tough. This is a tough space to sell into. It sounds like they have a lot of experience in the space, not necessarily into selling, and maybe that's what the head of biz dev is into. But for me, it's always difficult hearing about an ed tech company at its inception. But I will say we saw a company earlier this year, Bottle Learning, I was just as nervous about, who's out here crushing it, and thousands upon thousands of children are using it. So I'm not the best judge of ed tech companies, but I will say that something I was really struck by was how she was blending her technology with empowerment and the way that she spoke about it. I found that to be interesting because a lot of ed tech founders that I've met are very prescriptive. This is what we do. This is why we do it. And it's only about just the metrics that have to be hit for testing. And this goes beyond that. And so I really enjoyed the holistic approach because unfortunately, a lot of people, most specifically in the Black community, have experienced pretty high levels of trauma. And if we're not infusing that work into our educational programming, then we're going to have a big problem because kids are spending more time at school than they're spending really anywhere else, quality time. And so I like the way that she's overlapped those two things.
Absolutely. Brian?
Yeah, I have some more questions too for her on AI that are probably they're not good for the show. So please connect us so I can give her some advice and help her out with that stuff. But yeah, I loved it. I loved it, period. One of the challenges for solo founders and bootstrap founders is getting out of the mentality of just scrapping, right? Taking investment and going into growth mode. I think she's ready. I think she's over, just doing it all. But it's just one of the things that I think really more for the audience, that there's a transition you have to go through in your mind where, if we see this in a lot of our investments, they have a bank account full of money, and they're just, it takes some time to like want to spend it, right? Because they've scrapped so long. And so I hope she's thoughtful about that.
Yeah, I'd agree with both of you. You guys both know my biggest concern with EdTech is the exit landscape is sketch at best. So I think you can build really great things, but then the players who buy, there's really only a few, and there's some cycles when they buy and there's cycles when they don't. But I'm really interested in if this is a tool that really can empower, particularly the special needs community. It's more of a personal interest because there aren't that many adequate holistic tools in the education sphere right now that are being distributed across the US. So I'm excited for that. So we're going to move right along. Hello, Janine. And we are going to see our last company of the night. Let's bring on the Toy Pay team.
Hi, I'm Carl. A senior hospitality executive, always looking for ways to connect to my workforce while keeping my business growing and profitable. My monthly report shows productivity and profitability decrease, and I'm losing employees to the competition. I wonder what is going on.
Hurry, Maria. We have to leave. Who knows how long the lines will be today to cash in our checks, sending money home and waiting for approval, and paying our bills. Juanito might miss soccer.
My employees use check cashing services, spend hours in lines for sending money to their families and pay bills. They also buy calling cards to call relatives. They have no means for savings. Some employees are unbanked. All this wasted time is affecting my employees as well as my hotel. How could I fix this? I wish there was a way to help my employees' financial wellness while saving my company money. I found the solution: Toy Benefits, the financial ecosystem for my workforce. Toy can help my employees with their main needs while creating a positive social impact in our community. Toy works similarly to healthcare and 401k benefits. Just 3 steps. 1. Engage Toy. 2. Enroll workforce. 3. Promote Toy Benefits program. Toy coordinates enrollments, provides educational and promotional programs, making implementation easy. And no extra work for my HR department. Employees contact Toy directly through an app, online, by phone, or even via interactive voice recognition system. Yes, Toy Benefits will increase productivity while improving my employees' quality of life, saving them money. I am implementing Toy Benefits today.
Hey Carmen, have you heard? Management implemented Toy Benefits. We can now send money, save money, pay bills, call home, and more. All at no cost to us and effortlessly. We don't have to leave work early on payday anymore.
Maria, no more wasted time in traffic or long lines. You and I can now work more hours at the hotel. I'll never leave this job.
After implementing Toy Benefits, our average daily rate is up, retention and employee morale is at an all-time high, all improving guest experience at our properties. We now get consistent positive reviews on social media. I am beating the competition to quality employees. I am happy and my employees are happy. Toy Benefits really work.
All right, welcome to the show, team.
Hi, guys.
Hello. So I'll start us off first. Tell me a little bit about what outcomes you're seeing once a customer implements Toy.
Well, the first thing is they put money back in their pockets, and all those fees that add up to 14% of their salaries are back into their pockets. Remember, our client, we're a B2B business model, and the world is of a C2C business model. So the money that those guys are not paying, the employer is paying us. So our clients are corporations such as Hilton, for example, in this vertical segment. There's other vertical segments we'll talk in a minute, but Hilton will pay us, and all those services that we talk about in that video are going to be a free use for the workforce. So not only is it a benefit for the workforce, but it's also a benefit for the corporation. And that money that is being paid by the corporation to us is 100% tax deductible on top of things. So it's a real win-win situation.
Excellent. So everyone watching, if you have any questions or comments for the toy team, throw them down below and I'll get to them in a minute. Let's start with Brian.
Terrence, thanks for coming on. Quick questions about this market. Is obviously there's so many negative players in these people's lives, right? There's from the check casher to the money remitter overseas, right? So how do you guys get in the way of those folks who are trying to hold on to those customers and continue to take money out of their lives?
Well, we take them out. They are gone. Once a corporation implements toy, all the middle people are absolutely gone. The agents are gone. The check casher still there at the beginning, but eventually we'll like to kick him out and be the financial ecosystem, the fintech company for that population of the underbanked group. There's about 40 million people that are strong in our target market. So there is a lot of opportunity here to grow. The vertical segment of hospitality is just one. There's one even more powerful, which is the meat packing, which is one of the second verticals we're going to attack. There's about 3.2 million people in the meat packing sector, and it's about 3 million in the hospitality that fit 100% our demographic profile. So and then we have a dairy, for example. There's construction, there's fulfillment centers, cleaning crews. This goes on and on and on, but we need to be laser focused as we have segmented the market in what we call epicenters. And an epicenter is really a concentration of firmographic, not necessarily demographics. So we sell at C-level at a Fortune 500 company. That's our only target at the beginning. And then we go and enroll whatever those plans or hotels or locations are for those corporations. So that's how we segment and penetrate the market. It'll be a pretty fast penetration. We run a proof of concept for 18 months. We develop a technology, the state of the art. We have machine learning and artificial intelligence for anti-money laundering and many other gadgets that otherwise we cannot make this model work. Remember, we're a cashless solution. Nobody touches cash as compared to Western Union, MoneyGram. You have cash issues all the time. You want to have the agents be the ones that enforce the anti-money laundering regulations. You can't do that. So in our case, we're streamlining all those processes through a back-end technology that we have built, and it's pretty cool.
And then on your demographics, right? So you got meatpacking, hospitality. You kind of get to this in the video, right? Oftentimes these are kind of black and brown individuals, right? But I also felt as I was watching the video that the manager also, could have been a minority. It felt a little bit. It felt a little bit like us versus them-ish. Have you thought about kind of that piece and maybe making the manager as well?
Absolutely. We have several dozens of videos, and you just nail it. It should be a minority, but we have all diversity different type of videos here. But yes, you're 100% correct. Actually, what we're showing there is portraying a C-level person, but there's also an intermediary. The guy at the C-level is the one making the decision. I'll give you an example. Tyson Foods has 132,000 targets for us, 132,000. Just with Tyson, we break even with about 30,000 people. Tyson Foods can make us a $6 million company net EBITDA, hands down, if we only take 50% of the population. So when you have a process that will increase productivity and profitability dramatically for a corporation, that decision is at C-level. That's why our sale is only and exclusively at C-level. Tyson, for example, spends $66 million a year retraining people that leave and come back when they need to fill back those positions because the turnover in the meatpacking industry is pretty high. So if we can reduce that 10, 20%, whatever the number is, and increase the engagement of the person who is cutting chicken or meat or whatever, on payday, they're just looking to the clock. Okay, check is coming. I need to go to the check cashing. I need to drive here. Then I need to buy a money order to pay the electrical bill. Then I need to buy a calling card to call my mom to tell her that I'm sending the money. So all that happens by the gazillions every single payday. That's why the money transfers from the US just to Latin America, they're in the $93 billion with a B. That's a huge, huge market just in the remittances side. We also have bill pay as well. And we want to create a culture through education for savings. These people do not save in the traditional institutions. They save under the mattress. And this is a fact that we raised out of our primary market research. So literally, they have money in a can, they get robbed. There's all kinds of issues with these populations completely off the radar. They don't have credit record. They don't know how to write and read in some instances. So this is a very social impact-oriented product.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. Candice?
Okay, I'm just going to start by saying I had no idea that this was as big of an issue that it is. So I just feel so completely ignorant in this space. So I'm sorry if any of my questions are just wrong.
No, that's okay.
This is a massive issue from what you're describing. And I mean, it doesn't take much to now understand it, but my blinders were on to this issue. So let's say a C-suite exec makes this decision. What happens next, and how long does it get to, how long does it take to get to like true adoption amongst employees?
Excellent question. So C-level makes a decision, and that's the way we want to do it, because HR, I won't say it's the enemy, but they don't want more work. They want less work. So the C-suite calls and say, hey, HR, we're doing this because I want to get $300 million more in my bottom line. So they don't have an option. So we coordinate enrollment in the same identical way, Candice, as you coordinate 401k, identical. So we have an API that connects to the ERP of that corporation, whether it's Prudential or SAS or SAP or whatever they're using, and through a payroll deduction that is an itemized number that they gave us to say, they'll have a FICA, FUCA, and the garnishment, and then toy pay 0001, $200. Each employee pre-establish how much money they want to send to Mexico or to California. We have people in Nebraska and a proof of concept sending money to the kids in Oregon. And they were complaining and say, wait a minute, why you're offering this only to Latino people here when we need to use it too? And there were Anglo people, there are African-American people. So we are not really blinded as far as race or ethnicity. This is a product for whoever needs it. So after the enrollment process comes in, we enroll the people, they pre-establish all the transactions, and that is uploaded into our database of the system, which can be changed, obviously, just like you can change your deposit in your 401k. It's the analogy for the 401k is identical. Just our process for enrollment is extraordinarily faster because enrollment in the 401k is about half an hour per person. Ours is about 4 minutes per person. So, and I'll give you an example of something that you said before. In the meat packing industry, on payday, quality products or the quality control could drop up to 90%, 90, due to the disengagement of the people just thinking, okay, I need to go now. Here's the check is coming, and then it goes back up after the payday is gone. So this is an endemic problem. We have met with about 12 Fortune 500 meat packing CEOs and some of the hospitality too, and they say, well, when are we going to start? Are we ready? They need this product, and we're here to serve them.
That's awesome. So why is this important to you? Why did you start this company?
Great question. Well, I'm a minority. I mean, I fortunately, I got education, but I see the suffering of these people and how they've been abused over and over the years. And I don't want to mention the company again because I already did, but it used to be 48% the cost of sending $100. So $48 to send 100. Today, if you want to send money with that company to Colombia, the outskirts of Bogota, it costs you, for $300, costs you $65. When we raised our first $1 million, we got a wire transfer from our investor. It cost him $25 for a $1 million investment in our first round. So here's Jose Jimenez, poor guy from Colombia, paying $65 for $300 to his mom who's ill, and then the investor sending $1 million or $10 million for $25 wire transfer. So that's not right. And then you have all this fees from the check cashing, 6% for 24 hours. That is about 3,700% return for the check casher. And that 6% is money that these guys are not putting in their pockets. Milk, gasoline, you name it. So I think I'm all for helping this population. There's completely ignored. They're not in the bureau of credit. They don't have credit cards. They don't have bank accounts. Nobody cares about them. That's good for us in the sense that we went to Money 2020 about a year and a half ago. And out of 465 companies, there's not really anybody talking about the underbanked. Everybody's talking about social media and the millennials and this and that, but nobody sees this population, and they are there. We eat steaks because of them. We eat chicken because of them. We get our house cleansed because of them. The hospitals and the hotels. So I think it's a really, really important thing. We can educate these people and try to take them, incorporate them into the financial network like we are.
Perfect. Yeah, I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Aquiles. So teams, if you would like to vote for Toy Pay, you can text the number 5 to 203-408-6432. Once again, to vote for Toy Pay, text the number 5 to 203-408-6432. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
All right, let's start with Brian. Thoughts?
It's just a big problem. And I think his $65 example is just drives it home. And he's right. Like a lot of banks are free wire transfers, right? And if I pay $5 for a wire transfer, I'm like upset about it, right? So the idea that they're going to charge, I don't know, hundreds of percent, more than whatever, or infinitely more than zero, right? It is absolutely crazy and leaves a lot of space in this market. So, yeah, I think it's a home run as far as like the need. It's just convincing employers to do it. Sometimes that savings, depending on the size of the business, is or isn't enough to force use. And so it's kind of getting back to figuring out what that business model is, how much they make a year, how much you can save them, and is that enough, or what other strings can you pull to get it done?
Yeah, Candice?
Yeah, there's a quote, and I think it's Gandhi. He said something like, you can judge, like the true measure of any society is how you treat its most vulnerable members. And, that's really what this is. Like we're mistreating those who are really serving us as a society. And unfortunately, we have a class of people who just aren't listened to. And I said it myself, like I didn't know this was a problem. Like I just didn't know it was a problem. If there isn't truly like big competition in this space, he's going to do well. They're going to do great. Because this goes beyond there's how many underbanked people are there? Like we talked about this through solo funds.
I think it's something like around 20% of Americans, I believe. It's an outrageously high percentage are either unbanked or underbanked.
Yeah, so that's a huge issue. And then we have a ton of people who are sending money back home that are still banked, right? So if this could be a solution for them as well, that could be incredible. I think it's a consequence of current payroll systems and lots of other things of how quickly he can capture something. But I have a lot more questions that I'd like to ask, and I think that's a good place to be at the end of a pitch.
Yeah. There are people in my family right now, multi-generation Americans who've been here for a while who are still cashing checks at the end of the week. They are doing the same dance. They are running to pick up the kid from school to then go to cash the check, pay the fees, and then go pay their bills and like physically give cash to pay their bills. It's ridiculous to me, as someone who does everything on my phone. And it touches every corner of not only this country, but this earth, unfortunately.
And the number's not going down, Lexi, either. Right? The number's not going down. Like I think people thought that after iPhones and Androids got out there, that it would go down, but people have a smartphone, but are still doing the same task.
Yeah, the problem wasn't access to the technology. There's a few problems. One of the problems is access to the information of how it works. There are definitely people I know who don't understand, like, what does it actually mean to have your checks deposited into your bank account? How do you even set that up? How do you fill out the forms when you get a new job to make that happen? And then people where they don't trust the banks still, right? The team talked about, the people hiding the money in their mattress. It's still very true for a lot of us in this country. And then people who are afraid of garnishments, people who are afraid of the child support coming out. There's a lot of reasons why a lot of different people are still doing traditional check cashing places when they make money. But
and I don't want to go too far over, but just one quick
no, you're good. You're good.
Cultural thing that I think Candice was kind of touched on. This concept of the FDIC is a somewhat uniquely American concept. That was created as a structure to protect people after the Depression. Say, hey, look, even though the banks were in trouble, we are going to make sure your money is there. The federal government stands behind your dollars. That was really a very American kind of way of doing things. And you don't have an FDIC in countries in other regions of the world, including like Latin America, where people just go into the bank and literally took people's money, right? So the trust is lost after that. And so it's hard to regain it when they get here.
I mean, if you have a debt collector here in the States, you have a debt collector here.
Yeah, and I'll add one last thing to that. Like, look, all of us are in a place where we don't pay monthly fees for the bank. But we all remember being of an age and maybe of a salary that we paid fees at the bank monthly. And sometimes it can be $20, $25 a month. That's a lot of money. That's real money. That's, for some people, lots of hours per month. And so I can understand not having a bank account. I know some people can't get that, but like I'm close enough to know people that don't have one and have never had one. So that's real money. And so they're really solving a major issue here.
Guys, I think all three companies that we saw tonight are solving major issues in their own right? Dealing with the future of families, the future of everything. So I'm really excited we got to see them. But speaking of families, the most important person in my family, Mr. Hamilton, turned 1 today. So we're gonna
happy birthday, Ham!
And we're going to have a little intimate birthday party. And we'll see you all right here Tuesday at 7 p.m. on whatever platform you're watching us, Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever, 7 p.m. Tuesday to meet 3 more incredible companies. Thank you. Good night.
Oh, wait. Did we vote? Did we do the 5?
We did.
Did we? For him?
Brian's talking and he's muted.
Did we do it?
We did the 5, but you were actually typing during the 5.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. We're still live. I hope everybody enjoyed that.
But text 5. Text 5.
Text 5, text 3, and 4. Whichever one you wanted. Oh, I love my life. I love that everybody thinks this is just who I am. I'm sorry, people.
Goodbye,
Welcome to my
Good night.
living room. Good night.